thank you for the advice and suggestions in your question. I prefer to do it my way and articulate it my way.
People are entitled to have views about us, but we are also equally entitled to have views about their views. Whenever there is a discussion, I can tell you that we will not be reticent about speaking.
We all know Chanakya. He was an ancient Indian polymath, active as a teacher, author, philosopher, economist, and royal advisor. Traditionally identified as Kautilya, the visionary strategist is considered the pioneer of the field of political science and economics in India, who authored the ancient Indian political treatise, the Arthashastra. The subject matter of Arthashastra precisely earns him the title of the first great political realist. That brings us to our modern India. During the US election campaign in 2000, George Bush's advisor Condoleezza Rice wrote that America needed to pay closer attention to India. According to Rice, India was an element in China's calculation and should be in America's too. Bush said the only country that is big enough and can stop China is India. Fast forward 22 years. From cooperation to rivalry to strategic patience, the relationship between India and China has seen more lows than highs. Recently, the relationship was explained so well by Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar that China was forced to stand up in an ovation and hail India's tradition of independence on the global platform.
We have a difficult relationship with China. We're perfectly capable of managing it. It's if I get global understanding and support, obviously it is of help to me. But this idea that I do a transaction, that I come in one conflict because it will help me in conflict too, that's not how the world works.
Few months ago, major Western nations expressed discontent over India's abstention on the Russian war at the UN. US President Joe Biden on March 8th announced a ban on imported Russian oil and other energy imports. India was expected to follow suit and not buy Russian oil, falling in line with West's agenda.
If you are looking at energy purchases from Russia, I would suggest that your attention should be focused on Europe, which probably we do buy some energy which is necessary for our energy security. But I suspect, looking at the figures, probably our total purchases for the month would be less than what Europe does in an afternoon. So you might want to think about it.
EM Jaishankar has time and again made it clear that India will maintain its policy of non-alignment in the polarized global scenario. Speaking at the GlobeSec Forum in Slovakia, EAM took a firm stance on India's position, saying New Delhi is not sitting on the fence. While speaking on June 3rd at the GlobeSec 2022 Forum in Slovakia's Bratislava, Jaishankar came down heavily on Europe. Not only did he refute the criticism against India's purchase of Russian oil, but also insisted that India could well manage its foreign policy on its own, refusing to act according to any pressures imposed on it. Jaishankar argued that the world cannot be as Eurocentric as it was in the past.
Somewhere Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems. A lot of things are happening outside Europe. We have, partly because of climate change, for a lot of humanitarian, natural disasters, humanitarian responses. In our part of the world today, a lot of people look to us to help out. The days when they expected Europe to come, which Europe did at the 2004 tsunami. The difference today is nobody's even thinking of that anymore. So the world is changing, new players are coming, new capabilities are coming, but a new agenda must come. The world cannot be that Eurocentric as it used to be in the past.
Soon after his strong remarks, EM Jaishankar generated a significant fan following in one country, China. Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi lauded Jaishankar as he highlighted the way Indian EM expressed his disapproval of European centralism. Wang Yi said Jaishankar's remarks on Europe were a reflection of quote-unquote India's tradition of independence. Earlier, Chinese mouthpiece had also hailed Jaishankar, calling his arguments rational and stressing on the fact that India is a lackey of nobody.
That is exactly where I disagree with you. This is the construct you are trying to impose on me, and I don't accept it. I mean, I don't think it's necessary for me to join this axis or not, and if I'm not joining this, I must be with the other one. I don't accept that.
When India was lectured on moral ambiguity, Jaishankar fought back with down-to-earth pragmatism. By speaking out on behalf of the more economically vulnerable developing countries, Jaishankar groomed India as the champion of the global south. Given the current picture, India is not just an emerging Asian giant with China in the frame, but is also seen as an indispensable component of the Indo-Pacific strategy for keeping Beijing in check. And it's high time the West not just recognizes India individually for its capabilities, but also realizes its role in the Western world.